Welcome back and good morning, Central Oregon. BettyJean Schuster joins me this morning. She is a certified life coach with Dynamic Speakers and Coaching, and this morning she's talking about rich thinking. Good morning.
Good morning.
So tell me about when you first realized you needed to change your thinking and perception of money.
I was actually sitting around a Thanksgiving table about 15 years ago, and I realized that the conversation I was hearing was not resonating with the people with whom I was working for, which were affluent people. And I knew at that point that the conversation was what I dubbed a poor man's conversation.
How do we know if our thinking is rich or poor?
How are you feeling?
Yeah.
Really, how are you feeling about money? Are you feeling inner survival mode? Are you feeling the lack? What are you saying? What you are thinking determines your feelings, and not the other way around. So if you're thinking about lack and saying things like we never have enough, then that is exactly how you are thinking, and there will never be enough. Now, I understand that there are set budgets out there. I'm on the economy. People are definitely struggling. So we have to do what we have to do right now. You might have to go get some assistance, but your overall perception about how money comes and what you're saying within your family and your budget really determines how you're thinking and where you're going to be going in the future economically.
Well, and what we are feeling and saying can really affect our children's thinking about this, correct?
Absolutely, definitely. You know, I can be in a grocery store and I can hear somebody say, no, we're not getting that, we can't afford it. And it might be over a block of cheese, which is really scary if you tell your kids you can't even afford the essentials. Or it might be over some candy. Whatever it is, instead of saying them, no, we're not getting that, we can't afford it, tell them, you know, I realize we might need this, or that you really want this, but we haven't budgeted in this trip. Let's do it next time. You know, and just change your communication to them to take the responsibility of money, that you do have a budget and that there isn't a lack. You may not absolutely be able to afford it at that time, but the way you communicate to them will help them determine whether there's a lack and whether they're surviving, and whether they're going to live in a fearful state of being, including yourself, or whether they can get in a positive, empowering state of being regarding thinking about money.
It is amazing what they're picking up.
Absolutely.
I know I hear some insightful comments from my children, and maybe involving them in the next shopping trip. You know, maybe giving them a little ownership with that.
Absolutely, that's really important.
As adults, are we viewing money and the feelings of security as impossible? I mean, is that what you're seeing a lot?
I am. You know, working with businesses and individuals, it's never anything different. Are we in survival mode? Can we get out of this? The answer is yes. If you think you can, you can. And we have to examine where we are in our groups, whether it's family-oriented or business-oriented. The people that we're communicating with, what are they saying to us? And that's what we're going to repeat. If we're sitting around the water cooler and talking about how bad the economy is, how you may not get that Christmas bonus, then you are not thinking in a positive state of money. But if we're thinking about, you know, what can we do? Where is our future going? What is our planning? Yeah, we're living now, but what is our future like? And yes, there is money out there. There's plenty of money out there for all of us, but only a select few, less than 5% of the population has the money. And so it's the matter of getting into the perception of it's out there and it wants to come to me.
We're out of time, but the bottom line, is it just simply thinking positive?
Taking action steps, stopping yourself from verbalizing what you're thinking. Practicing positive thinking techniques help. Budgeting yourself.
And maybe visualizing goals, having some goals and visualizing those. I know you're big on goals.
I am.
If you have any questions for BettyJean, you can reach her at 280-1596. Also on the web at dynamicspeakersandcoaching.com.